Now, let us see how to make the most common moves that you would do in one-handed solving. The first one would be the U move. The U move is going to be moving the top layer clockwise. To move the top layer clockwise, you're going to bring your index all the way to the front and then flick it. So this is going to be a little unconventional and something that you wouldn't have practiced as a beginner. So I would want you to do it as many times as possible. So you bring your index all the way to the front, flick. Bring it to the front, flick. To move it counterclockwise, which is U prime, all you have to do is, your finger is already here, so you just have to push it. This is going to be easy. Now, we'll get on to the second most commonly used move, which is the right move. So if you are someone who's using the left hand, you're going to be using your right and up layer more frequently. If you're someone who is going to use the right hand, you just have to mirror it. So you'll be using left and top layer more frequently. So for the right move clockwise, which is R, you're going to bring your pinky all the way to the back and then push it. Push. Just ensure the ring finger is not on this layer, on the right layer, so that when you're trying to move the right layer with your pinky, this doesn't come in the way. Now, R prime. So R prime is one of the most important moves you'll have to learn in one-handed solving. You must have seen many people use this, but this is very inefficient. So what you're going to do is, you're going to bring your pinky to the front and you're going to flick it. This is going to take a lot of effort and a lot of practice as well. Initially, you may feel fatigue in your pinky during the initial set of solves, but that's completely normal. Just try to keep practicing this. So if you have to do R prime U, it's going to be you bringing your pinky to the front and then doing R prime, you bringing your index to the front and then doing U. So these two moves are going to be a little unconventional and something you wouldn't have practiced before. So I would recommend you practicing it as many times as possible. If the cube is going to be way too big, you will not be able to reach this, which means it's a good time for you to reevaluate your decisions and then buy a smaller cube. If the cube is going to be too small, you'll be able to do this, but there are chances you might lock up. If you're going to do a front move, you're supposed to use your thumb for this. So all you'll have to do is bring your thumb to the bottom and push it. If you're struggling as a beginner, no issues. You can always do an X and then you can do a U and then get back to the same place. For an F prime, as a beginner, I would recommend using your index and push it down. So use your index here, push it down. Just remember, since your thumb is here, while you do an F prime, you'll have to remember to loosen it a little so that you'll be able to freely move this. If your thumb is going to be stuck to the center and it's going to be held very firmly, when you do this move, you're going to have struggles. For the D prime, you can use your ring finger again to push it, but this is a little slower. So what I would recommend is turning your cube slightly and then doing this so that it looks like an R prime. This way, if at all you want to move your U or R layer after this, you will be able to access both of them. The L move also has a similar concept. For the L move, the closest finger would be your left index. So you can use your left index to move it like this, which is going to be a little hard. So instead what we are going to do as a beginner is rotate your cube a little and then do U or U prime. So instead of doing L, what you would do is you would rotate and then do a U. If you want to do an L prime, you're going to rotate and then do a U prime. I would want you to play around with all these moves and then see which fits you better. But there are two moves that I wouldn't want you to deviate from. One is going to be R prime and the other one is going to be U. Sometimes if you're using something like a U palm, did you see I had to do a R2 at the end? So for doing an R2, what I would commonly use would be pinky followed by a ring, because I can obviously do a pinky and then bring it back and then do a pinky, but that is much slower. So instead what we are going to do is, we're going to do pinky followed by a ring. So this is how you're going to do an R2. For the U2, since the impact is going to be small, I wouldn't want you to do a U2 using your index followed by your ring. Instead, I would just recommend doing U prime, U prime.